Hello, my angels. You are getting a sneak peek of what life is about to look like for you soon. I keep getting all of these messages about migration, the migration of birds. And I get this visualization of you standing in the middle of the field, and there's like these flocks of birds that are flying around you. And in like the midst and the fog of these birds flying around you, you can see people that are to your left, you can see people to your right, and they seem to be receiving things, making acceptances, moving towards stuff. You might be in a phase right now where you're actually seeing a lot of people thrive, become successful, receive blessings in particular areas that you are looking to be successful in. And for some of you, there may be specific ideas that you're seeing people take off with that at one point were also your ideas or inspirations that had come to you. One, I am receiving the message that the ideas and the inspirations you do receive, they matter, they're important, they are real, they are valid transmissions from spirit. And if they appeal to you, you are absolutely able to go and take them and plant them and nurture them and bring those seeds of inspiration to fruition. Some of you might be seeing other people take off and thrive with ideas that you thought about days, weeks, months ago. And it's a reminder that sometimes there is a larger product, there is a larger idea, there is a larger creative force that wants to get out through the world. And it may choose you or me as a vessel originally. But if we don't pick up on it, if we don't do something with it, it will kind of move on to the next mystic or move on to the next recipient of inspiration. And so that's not to make you feel any kind of sense of FOMO. It's also not to throw you into like urgency or like some kind of hyper productivity when an idea comes to you. You don't want to think to yourself, oh, well, I don't want anyone else to have this, so I'm gonna start moving with it. You want. That's not really the vibe though. The vibe is more so to confirm to you that, hey, that idea, it was good. You might be in the habit of like gaslighting yourself, blowing off your own kind of personal genius, going, no one's gonna get that, no one's gonna like it. This thing's so small. And so when you see other people take them and move and become successful with them, it just reminds you to like not gaslight yourself out of ideas. I get the impression for a lot of you, the ideas that other people are doing well with right now that you maybe had at one point, they maybe weren't actually like meant for you to fully take on, but instead to serve as an example for you, to not gaslight or dismiss your inspirations, or again, your natural brilliance or genius that wants to come through. In the future, I feel my throat chakra. In the future, as you carry on, because of these experiences, it's likely that you will take advantage of the inspirations and of the good ideas that come to you. And I almost get the impression of like right in the nick of time, just in time, right at the right moment. Like there's almost a future idea, a magnum opus, something kind of really brilliant and sparkly that I feel like is going to occur to you shortly. And because of this experience of seeing other people fly with ideas that you had and like put them, back on the shelf, put them in a bin with 1,000 other good ideas that you had. When this new kind of brilliant, sparkly idea occurs to you, you're not going to dismiss it. You're absolutely going to take advantage of it. And that's what we want. These little ideas are kind of pittance in comparison to like kind of what the psyche, what the cosmos is sort of conjuring up for you, and you'll be in a perfect position to receive it and to respect it when it comes in and actually take some moves and some steps. So sometimes we see people getting the blessings that we want, things that we've prayed for, and it can make us feel left out. It can make us feel less than. It can make us feel forgotten. But I'm a firm believer that if you see a blessing hit someone around you, it means it's in the neighborhood. God, the universe is showing you that it is possible. It's possible for someone just like you. It's possible for one of your friends, for one of your family members, from someone at work, from someone in the neighborhood, right? The blessing is local. It's showing you how accessible it really is. So it's easy in a phase right now where you feel like you are in the in-between. Maybe nothing is totally moving, we're not seeing any big shifts, big lifts, and we're feeling some kind of way about it. It's really easy to get a little stressed out, to get emotional, to get jealous. But this is a perfect opportunity, again, to remember that the blessings are in the neighborhood. You are receiving a lot of examples of people who are receiving that you want, to remind you that miracles do happen. It's such this migration energy. It's so interesting. You might even be getting like a lot of messages or seeing a lot of readings come up about travel, about relocation, even about like birds. Like I feel like some of you might be guided to watch like the Discovery Channel or Animal Planet or like some kind of nature documentary on Netflix. So here's the bird. We have the Ten of Swords, and here we have this little eagle or this vulture type creature right here. This depiction of the Ten of Swords, it always reminds me a little bit of Prometheus, who went and plucked fire from the gods to give it to man, and then was tied to a rock for eternity, where a big bird came and like plucked out his liver every single day. And that came through in a reading that we did recently. I don't remember where I posted it, if it was here or on TikTok or on Patreon, but we did post a reading recently about Prometheus. Maybe it was one of the August monthly readings, so you might want to check the Patreon for that. But I feel like this Ten of Swords might be that feeling of self-betrayal. I made a mistake, I went down the wrong route, I have been misguided, I misheard in some way, I missed my shot, I missed my blessing. The thing is with this Ten of Swords is I feel like there is this tendency to self-punish that we really want to get over and get through before your blessings start to come in. Because an aspect of this self-punishing, oh no, I didn't take advantage of that opportunity, I'm so stupid, or I can't believe I did that, or I really screwed myself over. It's just like this self-subjugation and the self-punishment. It feels like for a lot of you, this is something you also do when good stuff happens. But instead of going, oh, I'm such a fool, I missed out on that, I screwed myself over, instead you're going, I don't deserve this. I have to give it all away. Everybody's looking at me, right? And that is maybe where some of these like self-sabotaging energies come in, where you might kind of take the things that are precious to you or take things that you wanted, and you might start like this bird, right? Start picking them apart until it's like there's basically like nothing left to it. And so there's something really interesting about not just the avoidance of the things that we love or things that could be good for us, ideas, right? But also like the destruction of what we love because we don't believe we deserve to have it. And again, it comes from this like core, this little seed of self-punishment, which I feel like was taught to you, or this is how you were treated. I feel like there's something for some of you, like there's something that happened when you were young where like you were taught to like subjugate yourself, or you were taught to like fall on your sword or carry your cross. It's like you were taught to go, I'm so sorry, I'm such an idiot, I'm such a bad girl, like that type of thing. And it feels like there's something about the relationship between authority wanting you to feel less than, and you almost learning how to punish yourself, chastise yourself, criticize yourself. I understand. In lieu of that authority figure doing it. So to express this probably more clearly is if you were a kid who was bullied in school, you probably have a really good sense of humor, and you learned how to poke fun at yourself before anyone else got a chance to poke fun at you, right? So you could sit there and make jokes of like, oh, I gotta wear these glasses, I look such a dork, or oh, I got these crooked teeth, or oh, my weight, or oh, this or that. You learn how to like pick yourself apart like for the crowd, so that way they don't pick you apart, right? You become your own bully, so that way no one else like takes up that spot. I feel like for a lot of you, like you took up the role of being like your own persecutor, like you took up the role of being like your own punisher, so that way it's like the job slot was already filled, no one else had to do it, right? No one knows my shadows more than me, no one can pick me apart better than I can, I've already told myself anything mean that you already wanted to say to me. Why is there like a collection or like a list in your head or our heads about like all of the things we're doing wrong, or again, all of the opportunities we missed, or how we didn't do that right, or how we're undeserving of that. There's just this energy of self-punishment that really wants to get, again, dealt with, and we want to get over it, and we want to work through it before these blessings start to come in. So when you are in the midst of this migration where everything and everyone around you seems to be moving and grooving, and here's an idea that's taking off, someone over there is getting married, and here's a blessing over there for them, and you're sitting there and you're watching all of this go around, what's also going to come up is envy, jealousy, the feeling of wanting to punish yourself or pick at yourself, being angry at God or the universe, right? Feeling bad, self-pity, all of that stuff starts to kick up like a tumbleweed. But what does that allow you to do? Move up into your higher self, right? That means the blessings in the neighborhood. I don't have to punish myself in order to enjoy good things. It's safe to feel safe. It's safe to have abundance. I'm happy for them. They probably waited just as long as I did. I bet they worked really hard for that blessing. Ain't God good over here? It allows you each time there's that tick or that prick or that trigger to rise up with something that is constructive and productive and feels holy and feels like it's sanctifying to the spirit, right? It emboldens you in confidence and faith and love and goodness. There's also very much something here about not returning to the old places. A lot of you, it's almost like when a wound is healing and it starts to itch and you just can't help yourself. You might have to put like certain boundaries or barriers in place right now in order to make sure that you do not return to the former things, to the former people, to the former habits. If you're white knuckling it, you're having a really hard time staying focused in the new energies, you may have to set boundaries for yourself. Like maybe you have to delete Instagram off your phone, or maybe you have to block someone off of one of the apps so that way you can't message them or you can't scroll and keep tabs on them, right? Whatever it may be. I see the Nine of Pentacles coming out, but it's coming out in reverse, which gives me this impression of a stagnancy in the material world being very much connected to a lack of spiritual conversation. If you pay attention, you may actually notice the more your spiritual practice slows down, the less you're talking to the gods, the less you're meditating, like the less you're kind of in flow, the less you're in your magic. I almost want to say like the more you act like a muggle or like a normie, or like there's that kind of energy, because there's sort of like, again, there's like a resistance to, I don't know, the magic. My magic doesn't work. Things aren't manifesting. So forget it. When actually there's like a deep desire to build intimacy there. So interesting that you might notice that like things in your material world, they slow down, they get stagnant. And so there is something about like your independence, your success, your stability is very much connected with your ability. See how she's here with this little hawk here, is your ability to stay focused on spirit. I love that they're both facing each other, because typically we put the hood on these little hawks or on these little falcons in order to ensure that they are paying attention to what we want them to pay attention to. We don't want them looking all over, right? We just want to take it off when it's time for them to fly. And I like that here you're both looking at each other. So not only is like spirit trying to like help you focus on it, on the universe, on yourself, on your magic, but you too are like needing to focus on universe and spirit and your magic. It's like you both are facing each other and like kind of like locking eyes, almost like bracing and practicing blocking out distractions, external noise, other than just like this inner communication between you and spirit. And again, here's this bird, and it's almost like you are waiting to like take the hood off of your falcon and throw it up in the air and let it fly off into migration like everyone else's birds. There's a little bit of like Jan Brady here energy, but again, like there's something about like we need to get on the same page. Even if you look at her hat, I love these little white frills here because they almost look like the crests of waves. It looks like ships, like the Three of Wands. It's like your mind is like very much fixed towards progress and success and adventure, and I see it happening around me and I want it. but it's like, it's not quite time. I also feel like you're saying, think about a traffic jam. If you were to take flight right now, it's likely you would get caught in a traffic jam because there is a huge migration happening. So you might be like, and there might be a specific bird that like calls out to you, but you are one of the birds that like migrates a little bit later than everyone else. And in part, that is because we want you to have like a smoother route to where it is you're going. And in the meantime, when the air is busy, you have the opportunity. It's almost like, it kind of reminds me of local summer. It's like now that all of the tourists, now that all the birds, now that everyone's like kind of off and migrating to their next locations, that like you kind of have the place to yourself in order to sit here. There's nothing going on, right? Nothing's moving for you. Plenty of time to communicate with your higher self, with spirit, to think more about these adventures that you want to go on, about the success that you want. It's Virgo season is approaching soon. Maybe we want to get more specific. Maybe we want to create out of a pure essence of self and not create out of a reaction to the world that exists around you, right? There's also something really interesting here that was coming through about hatchlings, migration and hatchlings, and they kept showing me particularly like the little turtle hatchlings, because this isn't really a season. We're at the end of summer, it's about to be fall. We're not really in like hatchling season, particularly for birds, right? They hatch in the spring, but there's a lot going on right now about like these little turtle hatchlings kind of crawling towards the water. And so there also seems to be something, and a hatchling, it's a baby, it's birth, right? It's new life. There's something about potentially a redirection here for some of you about where, once your migration season starts, which is soon, where you actually want to fly to in order to hatch or have your hatchlings, your babies, your blessings, your new offering to the world, your new timeline, because it might be slightly different than where you're currently like mapping or charting your maps, if I want to say. For a long time, I used to have this saying about alignments and blessing, and that oftentimes you're not as far off as you think. You're just a couple of blocks over from where you want to be. Meaning that like you're still in the same thing. You're still in the same neighborhood. You're still in the same kind of like idea, whatever, niche, area, location, but you're just like, you need to just be over a little bit, like it's just slightly different than what you think, or it's like a slightly different route, or it's like a slightly different medium, right? I feel a lot of this energy here, that like where you want to go, where you see yourself, it is correct, it is accurate, but it's a little bit, but you will thrive. And part of it's about like the land itself, like the location, that it's like you want to be a little bit over to the left, I want to say. And this time between you and spirit, while everyone else is kind of flying and flocking away, gives you again that opportunity to get clear about where it is we're gonna plant these seeds. You might, just as an example that's coming to my head, you might be like, I am a tarot reader, I want to be a tarot reader, this is where I want to set up my career and be successful. Okay, spirit might have a heart-to-heart with you over the next 2 weeks and might say, actually, we think you would thrive a lot better being a psychic medium. Actually, maybe we don't use cards. Maybe you move deeper into your channeling. You start giving full transmissions. Maybe you start channeling the dead. Like you show up not as the tarot lady, but you show up as the psychic medium lady. That's how you do it. You're still in the same neighborhood. You're still in the same area, but you're 2 blocks over. That's like a really easy example, and that might be exactly an on the money example. There also, see how there's a little bridge here? It's like a little walkway. There might be something about in this time too, like we're building a bridge. Some of you might be rebuilding trust and faith and intimacy in the divine, in your spirit guides, in your angels right now, and also like in yourself as well. I feel like, again, part of that 10 of Swords is like, I don't trust myself. I should have taken that idea further and I didn't. Now someone else has it and it's doing well and I can't take it back. I shouldn't have taken that detour. I shouldn't have this. I shouldn't have that. Again, it's just more of this like, kind of like the Eeyore, the woe is me, like, I'm so stupid, like that type of energy, which again, it feels, part of it feels like slightly performative, but not from me, but it feels like performance from the inner child who like doesn't want to be like hit with consequences, or doesn't want to be punished in some way, so it learns to punish itself. It's like the punishment of self is so grotesque that no one else even wants to double down on it or add to it in some way. It's like an interesting thing there. Card number 42 out of the Shaman's Dream is coming out for you. Net catcher. Preparations come to fruition. So again, whatever track you're on, what you're doing, it is the right thing to be doing. You are on the right track. You are in the right timeline. You are seeing evidence right now, as I said in the beginning, of what life is going to look like for you soon. Ideas taking off, blessings coming to land, you moving and transitioning into new places successfully, confidently, being able to birth and fully hatch dreams and goals and life. Like, this is what you're seeing. You're seeing the evidence of it happening around you, not to you yet, but it's happening around you. And again, as the jealousy and the FOMO and the woe is me and the why not me's and I want to shadow punch the universe, when all of that stuff comes up, good, let it come up, because let's deal with it. And I almost see you, there's a scene in the second Hunger Games when they send all of the old winners back in, and as they're training, Katniss goes into this, I don't know why they're showing it to me, but she goes into this like archery trial practice session before they go in, and she sets it up to like the highest advanced archery level, and she's in the kind of training room, and you see all of these holograms of these people, and they're popping up everywhere, and she's like pop, 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 and she just starts tossing arrows out at everybody, and she hits every single one right on the money. That's kind of like you with like these feelings that feel kind of gritty, that jealousy, that FOMO, that why not me, that I shoulda, coulda, woulda, all of that. They're popping up and you're going, but I didn't because I had something else to work on. But God's grace is still new every day. But they probably needed that blessing and I'm happy that they got it because life's hard here for everyone, right? And you just bam, 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 and it's like fucking high vibe. I appreciate myself. I deserve good things too. There's enough for everyone. It's okay. I'm okay. It's like pop, 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 pop. You're like popcorn. It's like you're kind of like hitting all of these like kind of lower, like negative, greedy vibes with stuff that feels, again, constructive and productive and like really high vibe. And the universe is going, yes, ding, yes, ding, yes, ding. Let's get a closer visualization on what you want, on what you need. It's like as you get closer to a big event, like a wedding, right? You start getting like more specific. Like in the beginning, you're going, I think I want blue as my theme. But then all of a sudden you start getting more specific into the linens and into the decorations and into the flower arrangements. And I feel like you're kind of in that now. There might be something specific about the story of Jesus. And I believe it's Peter, could be Paul, I think it's Peter, in the boat with like Jesus and the nets and the fishermen that might be significant for you right now. 42 also breaks down to 6, which is a very Venusian number for me of harmony. And we did see those little turtle hatchlings popping up in the channel before. And I always connect that with water deities and spirits like Aphrodite or Poseidon. So that might be something that's really significant for you as well. I'm also loving like these flowers in her hair. There might be something about, I don't know, you wearing flowers in your hair or like flower crowns. She also kind of reminds me of the banana lady who, the Chiquita banana lady, and she has like the big gorgeous kind of basket of fruits on her head, which again indicates the fruitfulness, the flowering of your mind, of your ideas, of your divine inspiration. There's also like, I love that she's covered in all of the screen because this feels like a huge expansion of your heart chakra. A lot of you are moving through a big blockage removal around the heart, which is such like a core generator of a lot of your personal power and a lot of your personal magic. We can actually see how her heart space is all lit up. And I love how gentle and glowing the solar plex chakra is right here with these kind of gorgeous golds and like these yellows, indicating a sense of harmony and confidence, and not in like a peacocking, I'm gonna puff up my chest way, but in a way that feels like really solid and it feels really grounded, that you have the ability to look around and go, the birds are getting ready to migrate. People's blessings are coming in. And I know 3 clicks after, mine come in. Because it's like you're that in tune with the energy because you're communicating with your sacred falcon, right? Because you're not comparing, you're observing, and you're allowing the sensitivity that you were born with to help you clock the time. So for a lot of you, you're being asked to operate spiritually at a higher level than the ego would want you to. But the idea is that you've built up the skills and you've put the time into this area of your practice and in your abilities that you know how to do this. So it's kind of like, do the thing you know you got to do, which is operate from up here, because we have the Knight of Pentacles coming up next. He's slower, he's steady, and he's on a dark horse. You might feel a little bit like the Dark Knight running, right? But the idea here is that you're not. Sometimes you just get messages early and you tap into the timing like too late. And again, part of it has to do with the disconnect between when you receive the message and when you do not connect with spirit after the message. It's almost like you might feel like the initial inspiration or the initial vision, that is the connection, but it's not the debrief, because we have the Two of Cups coming out. So again, I feel like there's something about the next piece of clarity that comes in for you, the next idea that occurs, the next spark of inspiration that arrives at your door. You're supposed to go, I'm filled with it. I see it. Oh my God, great. Okay. Let me now go sit down with spirit. Let me go debrief with my higher self. Let me tap into my emotions. Let me feel out the energy. And then I'll start taking action on the thing. There's like this second middle step that's really important. And here we have the caduceus, right, of Mercury. And Mercury is a psychopop. He brings messages from the living to the dead, from the gods to man, from the gods to the underworld, right? There's a collaboration here that's really important. And look at this, and we see a huge flock of birds. These actually look like swallows. There's a bird called a swallow that might be significant for you. There also might be something about purple, specifically purple butterflies that are coming through for you. The lovers, more of these purple wings. Some of you that work with archangels, there might be something about the violet flame, or the violet flame frequency, or angels that operate through the violet flame that are really significant to you, which I really love. I also love in this Eight of Pentacles, there is a lot of like work energy here, especially with that caduceus, and Mercury is also a god of like commerce and business as well. Something that's interesting is I like how he's looking at this shield here, and that reminds me a little bit of the story of Athena and Medusa, and you hold up the shield and everybody turns to stone. But here he hasn't turned to stone. So I also feel like through this process over the next couple weeks, that a lot of you are able to like face things head on, and a lot of it is your own shadow. Sometimes that Medusa energy can very much be reflective of our own shadow that is born out of mistreatment, right? Sometimes we receive treatment, things happen, things don't happen that are wrong, that are unfair. And there is a new shadow that is born from that. And that new shadow that was born from a valid place of pain, right, it can become distorted. So instead of that shadow becoming a source of empowerment, a source of strength, a source of something that kind of shields us as like we move through the heat of confrontation with life, instead it becomes distorted and it becomes jello-y, and we become whiny and we make excuses and we do the woe is me thing, which is normal and human and valid, but it's not always the most helpful thing. So when we can productively move through that, that's super helpful. So I feel like, again, like through this process, things that normally you're like, no, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to confront my own jealousy, or like, I don't want to confront my own envy, or my excuses keep me warm at night, or it's just easier to be mad at the universe because I don't understand, which again is stuff that I do on like a Tuesday, like a lot. But I like that here, it's like you're able to confront it. It's not Medusa. It's not turning you to stone. You're actually working through it. And I feel like each of these represents like a shield. It's almost like, I know it sounds so funny, but it's almost like you're moving through like the 7 deadly sins. It's like sloth and gluttony and pride and envy. It's like you're like knocking them out like throughout the course of the next 2 weeks. It's like 7 deadly sins in like 2 weeks. It's a really interesting thing. And then you get to like put them up there and going like, this is not a yoke unto my soul anymore. I see the blessing that my neighbor receives, and I know that mine is in the mail, right? And so everything that happens to you gets to happen for you because you made it so through your own emotional alchemy. Yes, very cool. So this is what I have for you. I hope that this was helpful. I hope this was supportive and you enjoyed it. I am available for personal readings, and I do offer a new Cosmic Mama session that is a spiritual guide support and guidance session for mothers and their spiritually gifted children, which I'm really excited about. Be sure to check out Patreon for daily tarot spreads and intuitive prompts, as well as extended and monthly readings. And we do host a women's intuitive circle once a week for about an hour. So if you're interested in making some more friends in this community, practicing your tarot or your intuitive skills, come join us. Our next meeting is this Saturday at 10 a.m. So I love you. I hope to see you there. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch you next time.